welcome back to Beholder 2 One Shot, our part 2 of the Orphan of the Vinesnake Hill game, where we'll be playing D&D 5e with these lovely characters again. We are playing this right after we played the last one, but it's been a month for you, so sorry.
The suspense.
The suspense. Hopefully you enjoyed your time away and enjoyed the, 8 episodes that have been between this, probably. So first, why don't we reintroduce our characters, starting with Taylor.
Yeah, so I am Taylor, or @_potato_ on all the socials, and I am playing a little Lightfoot halfling ranger named Juniper. Also, I'm gonna mute because there's weed eating happening.
And then Brianna.
I'm Brianna Jean. You can find me at Brianna Jeans on Twitter, and I am playing Drina, the half-orc paladin, who is the tall one of the group. By a lot. That's just usually how I am as a person.
Your descriptor, the tall one. Finally, Darby.
Hello, I am Darby, and I am playing your hootin' tootin' non-cleric, Ida Frizzle.
The only one with the last name.
And then I'm Nikki, of course, and I'm the DM for the game. So let's jump into, let's first start off with a little bit of a recap of what happened last week. The three of you have arrived at the town of Vinesnake Hill, and you've received a letter saying that people have gone missing, but over the last couple of days, some children from the local orphanage have also gone missing. While exploring and talking to some of the people in town, you discovered the lumberjack Mako was suspicious and acting a little strange and a little angry, and then the woman who ran the orphanage, who I completely forgot her name, even though I was just on that page.
I don't remember it either, if it makes you feel better.
Viria. She was struck in the head by a stone that actually seemed to heal, so wasn't intentionally trying to be killed in the process, but she was knocked out unconscious as the three children were taken, though there were some scratch marks on the wardrobe and the tree, seeming so that the wardrobe could be opened. And the only toy missing out of the three favorite toys was the little doll that belonged to Arisia, but not the sword that belonged to Miko or the stuffed animal that belonged to Beldor. After getting a little bit of help on her head injury, she did remember hearing some strange words that she recognized from the woman who apologized before hitting her over the head, saying the children will be better, the grown ones are not good, need the children, almost in desperation. This led to some questions about rats because of some poisoned blood found, and Ida trying to take a snack earlier and realizing that decaying rats do not taste good.
No.
Shock, honestly.
Rats.
And you all go to find Mako, confront him, intimidate the fuck out of him because he is hiding something, and find out that while he might have always been a jerk, he has recently become even more so a jerk, and probably going down the dark path because he got bit by a snake from the forest that is dead and covered in vines, and by a rat in the forest.
Snake or rat? Yeah, I was about to say that. Sorry. I thought it was
bit by a rat covered in vines from the forest. And ever since then, he's been having some dark thoughts and writing down things and hasn't been needing to sleep as much. And his goal right now is just to prove that he can be smarter than everybody else in town by just giving them all the booze that he has made downstairs.
Just, normal, totally cool and relaxed things for someone to be thinking.
Yeah.
Make them a hive mind, make them stupid so they'll actually listen to him. And we're all like, you could just try being nice.
When you get bitten by diseased rats, you don't really think straight when they turn you evil. It's not your first thought. Is I should be nice.
Yeah, we should chew on that thought a little bit more.
Just a little. But at that note, you last left off wanting to go check out this wizard tower that belonged to a wizard named
Something starting with the J.
Carissa
name.
Arcoon.
Who wrote a book on how to
Magic
do
for everyone.
magic.
Yep.
That one of the kids had, and I was the only one that we could kind of piece together what it was after all of the books in one area were obliterated.
Well, this book specifically was obliterated, but a lot of other scrolls and books were also obliterated. But this was the only one that was able to be put back together. And it was noted that this is the name of the wizard who owned the wizard's tower in the forest.
Speaking of a tower in the forest, could little Ida fly up a little bit and take a peeksy poo above the forest? And can she see a tower? A tower? I saw the Roll20 just change, and I'm not McLovin everything in this photo here.
Why?
They're not all that endearing, you know? I'm hopping to some conclusions based off of what I'm seeing here. I think we're in for a real treat with you at the elm. We can't see your face, Nikki, so I don't know what kind of...
I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out why it changed on one screen, but not on my other page.
Okay.
Yay, technology.
There you go.
How's
Fixed
the
it.
pun counter looking?
Fixed it. I don't know. I stopped counting after 2. It's
We'll
Darby.
leave
There's
it
gonna
at
be
that.
so many puns.
I'm just trying to branch out, you know? I don't want to stick to my roots too
There's
much.
actually-
We're embarking on a journey together.
I think that's like
If
20
you-
something.
16 so far that I've caught at least.
Oh, you're slacking.
Hey! That's still like, what?
I
8
do have
hours?
a great ping counter noise if you want for the puns.
I do not. Do not want
So we
that.
don't need to draw attention to them anymore.
I don't know. I think they're pretty funny.
Funny.
Yeah, you shouldn't punish me for making puns, you know? You should just roll with the
Another-
punches.
Another tick.
Trying to expunge them from your recording isn't going to do so good.
Okay, so you're going to the forest.
Can I see a tower when I'm flying above? Is there like a tower ruin sticking out from the tree line?
Yes.
We should have asked for directions before we left.
Yes.
We'll say you did.
Do I see a tower?
Yes. As you leave the small town, the rolling countryside slowly turns into a forest. The people who are on the ground, you hear the sounds of birds and the rustling of small animals. The air is filled with the smells of pristine forest. It's a beautiful sight, but you're also aware of the dangers such an untouched nature holds. But as the forest progresses, after traveling the woods for a while, you notice a sudden change in front of you. From one moment to the next, the beautiful vegetation turns dark and twisted. Oozing plants emit a foul smell. The ground turns slick, and some deer not far from you look not quite like deer. Your instincts tell you to turn back right now. But if you want to find the missing townsfolk, the path leads you deeper into the distorted part of the forest. Ida, from your position, you can see the tower ruin just beyond a rock wall up ahead.
I'll flutter down and be like, whoo, whoo. The tower's up ahead with there's like a rock wall that we could climb over, and then there's the tower. Woo, woo.
Wonderful. I don't like it here. I don't even want to know what's at that tower.
I don't want to know what those deer are. Whoo, whoo. They look like affronts to nature. Whoo, whoo.
For anybody
Agreed.
who's going to take this book and purchase it, there is an entire section for the Cursed Forest that you can use and roll on encounter tables for. So take that as you will.
Cursed.
Yeah.
That's the title. It's called Cursed Forest.
I mean, it was regular forest, and then it was cursed, but yes.
Currently cursed.
You've seen the deer, right?
But now we're at part 3, the tower ruin, so it's fine. We skipped that, right?
We're just gonna. Can we skirt around the deer? Can we like?
Well,
ignore...
you're not fighting the deer. We're skipping that entire chapter, so
Oh.
we have time to do it.
You can fly. I'm a ranger. The combo of us, we guided us through, avoided everything. We're great.
And I am large with battle axes. I am intimidating.
And
Even
actually,
the cursed animals are terrified of you.
if you look at the picture that's in Roll20, it's actually pretty spot on how it would look between natural to dead. Pretty little bunny just sitting there chilling in the green scenery, and then like glowing this deer.
This image is just to die for. Super endearing.
That was 2.
Yeah, that was 2.
It was 1 sentence, 2 puns.
It would be
I'm like
good
it kind of
keep track.
kind of makes me think of some of the woods in Tempest Multi, where there's things that might once have been but no longer are.
I'm having to go to line 2. I'm running around.
After you climb the small rock wall, you see a tower rising nearby. The outer walls are full of vines that seem to extend throughout the area. Strangely twisted trees in front of the tower are surrounded by a poisonous green mist. The ground itself and all the plants in the area seem morbidly altered. Even the air you breathe has this foul undertone. Whatever has so corrupted the forest seems to be at its strongest here. 2 paths lead to the tower, one to the left and one to the right.
Is this like a similar ick as the basement of what's his face? Like, am I getting that same kind of vibe?
Much ickier, but yes.
Okay.
Ooh, cool.
Can I use divine sense to learn the location of any celestial fiends or undead within 60 feet of me?
Sure.
And also, I can also detect the presence of any place or object that's been consecrated or desecrated. I feel like there's a lot of desecration. Just, in case there's any undead things that might jump out and try and eat us.
Okay, so
There's a bunch of skeletons. Excuse me.
I'm reading through. You find a corpse of a white bear, though it does not look like it is undead. You find a pond that is feeling corrupted. You're not sure if it's officially whatever the word was that you said, but
Desecrated.
desecrated. This is not possibly desecrated. I don't really know. Honestly, after playing D&D for 8-9 years, I don't know however long this 5th edition has been around. Playing D&D 19 years, but I still don't know what desecrated means, and I never even use it, so it's whatever.
The hollow spell? Who uses that?
Exactly. In the pond, you see a dead and rotten boar that gives a sign of how deadly the water is. You are able to, with that, you also see a burnt skeleton and a tree stump soaked in old blood. It looks like a place of execution.
Oh, and those lovely little shapes. People shapes.
I don't think those are people shapes.
They look like little skeletons.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mentioned. Where are you clicking?
Also,
By the bloody
What?
stump.
Oh,
That
right
looks like
here.
the bear.
Right
That's
here
the
is
boar.
the sacrificial area.
Ah.
So to give you a little bit of a rundown, just so you're on the same page, I suppose. If you scroll out a little bit, over here is the rock wall in the south
Okay.
that you passed over. The dead bear is right here. The corruption pond is over here. Yep. The burnt skeletons are right here. This area. And then behind that is 2 gnarled and twisted trees reaching almost as high as the tower itself, engulfed in a toxic green mist.
So how do I get to the tower without walking through the toxic green mist that you just mentioned?
You can roll a survival check.
Guidance?
Sure.
Ranger.
Yep.
Someone that actually has something in survival.
And this is a forest, so I get my proficiency bonus doubled.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So, guidance, survival, natural explorer. Okay, that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, guidance, 18, 19.
Okay. With that, you will see that right here next to the tower is a pool of strange viscous liquid that has formed and is leaking out of the stone wall that smells like rotten fruit. And then back here behind the tower to the northwest is a small cave. And you see human footprints leading to the cave.
Cave time! Who wants to go spelunking? Hoo hoo.
You also see that
Yeah,
the front
look.
door of the house is also open.
Let's start with the cave. I don't want to go near that place. It's leaking.
Yeah, I'm scared of what's leaking out of it, honestly. But the only sign of living beings is headed towards the cave at some point, so.
Draws one of her axes. I'm ready.
Yeah, get my short swords out.
Draws the other axe, just in case.
Short sword in one hand.
I feel like she learned how to
thimble
like
in the other.
dual wield from like you. So now she's like real excited. She's like, I have 2 swords now.
I probably taught both of you how to dual wield. It's like, okay, no, you need to know how to defend yourself.
I can do more than just a bow.
The power of insert god, it compels you. Oh, look, it's me!
You're playing an orc? Or what are you playing, Brianna?
Half orc, half orc.
So just so we each have a token, I will give you these so you can control them and add your name to them and stuff like that if you want.
You can little babe.
But
I like how my ping. Oh yeah, I can.
Oh my god, please do not let me forget that I'm lucky. There's gonna be, I'm gonna roll a natural
You're
one.
gonna
I
roll
won't
natural
forget
one.
because
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
played a halfling before.
Oh, don't worry, I got you. I play a lot of halflings.
all right, so
Also, I'm naturally stealthy, so I can hide behind
other
Drina.
Yeah. And you can pass through creatures of a space larger of a shape.
Are you considered medium or large or medium or small as an owl?
I am a small outlet.
Okay.
But I'm stealthy.
So who is going first?
Can I stealth into the cave by flying in and
Sure. Roll self check.
yeah, I'm good at that because I'm an owl. I'll lead us into the cave. Okay, let's see. That is a 16.
Okay. You stealth in, and inside you see. As you enter the cave, you barely notice the strange and twisted plants growing at its walls. In front of the plants, and underneath of you stands a humanoid creature, its eyes milky white, the skin like molten wax. Dangerous claws protrude from its hands and feet. The creature slowly turns around, thinking it heard something, but doesn't, and just looks back at the vines again.
Is that the only one I see, or are there any more?
That is the only one that you see.
Not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of the label you put on him.
No! I don't love that either. I'm gonna just quietly turn back around and flutter down and be like, so I think we found one of the people who went missing. Hoo-hoo. But I don't think we can talk to him, and I think we should go try to the tower. Hoo-hoo. He looks very tainted and scary with long nails. Hoo-hoo.
And there's just one, not three?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a chance there's two other unless they die? Wonderful. Oh god, the smell, it's making my eyes hurt. I'm fine with looking at the tower if y'all are.
We could try and find a path of least poison into it, maybe.
I mean, do y'all think that... I'm just gonna assume by that description you gave us there's no real saving this gentleman. Do we maybe want to try and put him out quick and quiet so they aren't running up on our rear end while we're doing other things?
That's fair.
Put them out of their misery before they can be corrupted further.
Yeah, unless we think there's any way to fix this, but I
Well,
don't...
we could try and talk to them first. Hoo-hoo. And if they run at us and try and kill us, we can kill them. Hoo-hoo.
I just don't want to alert anything in the tower that we're here causing a ruckus as well. Catch 22.
Could we block the entrance of the cave? Hoo-hoo. So
There's
that,
not enough stuff nearby that you could do that.
well, shebang-a-rang-a-doody. We could just hope for the best and go into the tower. Save our strength for the guaranteed fight.
Perhaps if we destroy the thing causing all of this, it'll stop affecting them.
True.
Let's do hopeful thinking and then just maybe lock the door behind us so we don't get surprised.
I don't look forward to being locked into that room, but I do agree that's a good idea.
It's better, probably better.
At least we'll be on the lock side, hopefully.
So go
Also, we've moved, I imagine we've, moved out of the cave to have this conversation.
Yeah, we just
So it can't hear us.
Alright.
Because we're not totally dumb. Level
Yeah.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Ida has a whole modifier for her int.
Alright.
Actually, my intelligence is 12 total, so...
So you...
I'm...
Sorry. Good.
No, you go.
You see the tower up ahead. You see this pond that smells terrible, leaking. You see the front door ajar, and the wall next to it is damaged.
I want to just peek through and see if I can
Does it
see
look like
anything.
Does it look like the door was busted open, or just someone left it open?
It just looks like it's ajar. You can't really tell. It doesn't look busted open though.
This whole tower, I mean, obviously vines and everything, but the broken walls and stuff, does that look just natural deterioration?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is there windows or things that Ida can flutter up and look through and stealth and peek around further
on the first
floor? Flying up.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
All of the windows are covered in vines.
Ew. Someone
I was
needs
about to say, a tower without windows is not well designed.
There
but
aren't
covered
any on the
in
first
vines
floor,
makes
but-
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's overgrown. Cool. She'll flutter back down and be like,
Yeah, I'm just like
Tuck it away.
quietly sticking my head through, like trying not to touch anything, trying not to make a noise, but get a good look around.
As you glance into the tower, the walls of the building hardly seem to be stable. Vines and roots have made their way through the walls, and giant mushrooms and other altered plants are growing inside the building. The furnishings seem to have been largely destroyed, and a spiral staircase leads upwards. But your attention falls on something else, a rotten-looking torture rack and that's blood-soaked with dried blood.
A what rack?
Torture rack.
rat.
Over there in that corner. Right there.
Our dear
Once we rescue the new survivors, we should destroy this building.
Who are
Yeah.
all these people getting injured and murdered here? There's all those bones. There's weird stuff in the corner here.
You
I
also
don't-
see a broken statue that's violently smashed to pieces.
Me thinky it's the wizard's face that they then smashy to bits. Hoo hoo.
Wait, this was his home and he had a own statue of himself? I can see why they dislike him. I'm gonna be honest.
Is there anything else of that's a stairway in the middle?
Yes.
What's that thingy right there next to the stair?
Nothing?
Nothing?
Not
Okay.
important.
Trash.
Cool. Shall
do
we sneak in?
I think we're sneaking and sneaking up.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully these stairs will hold. At least when you get out of here.
As you
Yeah.
pass by the statue, you see that there's an engraving that says, Yurthil Wingblade, hero of Russia, winged wizard, and teacher of 1,000 spells.
That's a different name, isn't it?
Perhaps it's the one who taught the wizard who lived here,
Yeah.
or someone they looked up to.
Maybe someone here
Unless
just
we go
hates
back.
magic in general, or whatever brand of magic
that-
these wizards were doing.
Is that name familiar to me at all?
You can make a history check.
I can do that. I'm extra smart in history. Like I got a degree in it or something. 18.
Nice.
You know very little about him. You know that he was alive before the apocalypse. And he was a very well-known, or he was a very practiced wizard, but maybe not as well known as he could have been if he went to a bigger city.
Okay.
Any connection to our local wizard?
You don't recognize the name of the local wizard
Okay.
historically.
Let's go a creeping and crawling up the stairway then, stealthy like. Hoo
Okay.
hoo.
Roll some stealth checks.
Yeah, Drina's gonna bring up the back. Because if
I would-
something attacks from the front, I can still attack over.
Yeah, over
Actually.
these two.
Also, while we're going, can I keep an eye for like tracks and things? So like my favorite thing is like beasts. So I'm looking more like, more of the scratches, any like rat droppings,
Noted.
any sign of that sort of stuff too. But my stealth is a 6 or a 9. 9. 13.
2 for Trina.
Yeah, I crit failed.
Oh, nice. Love it. Ida?
16.
Okay. You both are very stealthy going upstairs, and then Drina's foot just goes straight through one of the rotted wood and
Yeah,
starts like, son of a bitch, very loudly.
swearing in druidic.
Okay, I start running up the stairs. Like,
I'm
we don't gotta be
flying.
sneaky anymore. Let's go.
I'm flapping my little wings as hard as they go. which is 30 feet around.
Faster
We're
than
gonna mix of druidic and orcish, so you recognize some of it.
I'm like, oh.
But it's like a lot of the muffin hugging stairs not being strong enough for. Oh, I hate that.
Oh
no.
All right, so you walk upstairs, and the staircase leads to. It can continue going up to the 3rd floor. On this floor, there is a fireplace, and or a forge. Sorry, and you see 3 doors.
Does this sound
Sound
me?
like
Yeah, I'll
anything?
listen.
Yeah.
See if there's any commotion after our commotion.
Okay. Roll perception check.
Train is going to be more careful after that incident, trying to keep towards like the edges near the wall.
21.
Okay.
9.
What are we rolling?
They're listening to perception.
Okay. For the love of 9.
Okay.
No dice like me.
Ida, what did you roll again?
I think she also did 9.
Okay.
9. Sorry. Yes.
So with a 21, you do hear the sounds of movement coming from this room up here. Or sorry, from this room down here. And also from the stairwell right behind you.
We didn't lock. Oh, we couldn't lock the door. The building was broken.
And that's when we gotta roll initiative.
I'm like, that way stairs.
Hey, yo, what if
Plus
we keep going up and then they have to come to us?
Yeah, just like
Now shard dice roller's nice to me. Ow.
Sorry. Oh, now.
Is there a way to like assign an initiative to my character?
Yeah.
I guess you can do that. Because I do not. I got 23. Yeah.
Okay.
My 20 dex is working out for me here.
Noise.
19.
So add
20.
turn. Hold on. Too many. You also got a 20.
I got 23.
Alright, and then now I make some rolls.
Are these like little golems? That looks like it.
Oh, okay.
I can show you what they look like. Hold on. That's what I look like.
Oh,
Alright, so that one is going to roll 15.
What? 15.14.
It's their dex. So that,
oh, it put it on me for some reason.
yeah, it oh, it shouldn't have. I think I just clicked on you accidentally.
Mhm.
Yay, technology.
Alright, and then this one is that person. And this one is this person.
There are too many this ones.
No.
Cool, they are screaming at the dog downstairs.
Ida. Nope, you got a 20. I corrected the wrong one. Juniper, you get to go first.
Okay. I had a thought to try and block the door where I heard sound, but everything seems too fucked up that they just break through anyway. So I'm not gonna worry about that. Instead, am I in a point where I can stab the thing that I hear coming up the stairs?
Yep, it just reached the top of the stairs.
Beautiful. I'm just whack with my short sword. That's cocked. That's natural 20.
Nice.
Okay, so D6. Do you do 2d6s or one and then double it? What's your
Double dice.
double like the total or double the portion?
If it's 1d6, roll 2d6.
Okay. Oh, good. That's a 6 and a 3, so that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Very nice.
I'm a bonus action hit with my offhand, so it'll just be if I hit, it'll be a straight damage. That is 14 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, and that is just 3 more.
Okay. As you slash at them, green blood is what comes out.
Yeah. I don't like it. Oh, Jasmine.
I don't like it either. Also, I think my dog is done barking.
Ida.
This stairwell, is it like a spiral with an open?
It's a spiral, but there is a ceiling. It just has the opening where you can go up.
I'm just gonna fly, sticking as close to the ceiling as I possibly can. I'm gonna go stand in that corner.
Mm-hmm.
And just
That corner being the northwest corner for the podcast.
Yep, the northwest corner. Dude, I'm just gonna. I'm a sacred flame. Yeah, I'm just gonna grasp at my holy symbol to insert God here, and call down a ball of radiant energy down towards this tainted adult, and it must make a dexterity saving throw.
I think it's canon your god's name is actually insert God's name here.
It's just a couple of brackets. The holy symbol is just 2 brackets being held up.
That is a 7, so I'm pretty sure that fails.
Ooh, yeah, that Mick fails. Take some of this 5 points of radiant damage, tainted adult.
As your sacred flame from insert God name here power strikes this creature who was once human, burns to a crisp and falls into ashes.
Super didn't have a lot of
I
health.
can't even get to hit anything yet.
Yeah, don't worry.
Oh, don't worry. There's something else in the room down south of us. So.
Oh, cute. Love that.
Oh, wonderful.
Anything else for
Yep.
your turn?
As a bonus action, I should be able to, I will sanctuary, Juniper. I shall use a first level spell slot to cast sanctuary.
You cast
A cantrip.
Okay.
I believe you can do a cantrip and a leveled spell in the same turn, if I remember correctly.
It's fair.
I could be incorrect, but I think that's how it goes. But yeah, sanctuary is a first level spell. But
Yeah.
I will.
It's all sanctuary is also a bonus action to
Yep.
cast.
So I will Protect Juniper. We are small and squished.
Yeah.
All right. Drenna, what are you doing?
Is there signs of there being something unfortunate somewhere else nearby?
You were told that noises were heard from this room down here.
I didn't see where you were banging. Ping again.
Down to the south.
Bottom room. Down south, there's something down there causing a ruckus.
Alright, in that case, I'm going to go and stand so I am facing what could be causing that ruckus. And I'm gonna hold an action for whenever something comes out. If it starts to attack me, I'm gonna attack it back.
Okay.
But if it starts to attack me.
Smack that dude back.
Just in case there's innocence in here, I'm just like, if something comes out aggressive.
All right. So you hold your action, and as you do, the door opens, and this creature who looks very similar, but that's what he looks like.
No, his hair.
Hi.
And he will take a strike at you, which means you get to take a strike at the same time.
Yes. I'm gonna swing with my battle axe, and that's a 23 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
Right, so that will be...
He swipes at you with his claws. Does a 10 hit?
I don't, but no. Where's my armor? Yeah, no, my armor class is 16. So I have for 5 damage. 1d10 plus 3, and I rolled a 2.
Okay. So as the door opens, you see 2 humanoid creatures turning around to face the door and face you. Their faces appear almost human, but their blank, milky white eyes in their skin, which look like molten wax, make you shudder. They raise their sharp clawed hands, approaching you with deadly intent. And then it's going to move here, and then this one will come out to play and also make an attack.
Lovely.
And this one looks like that.
Oh, he got good hair.
Blonde.
He's got a little coif to it.
It's got a je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais coif.
Coif.
15 does not hit. Because you said you have
Nope,
16.
just misses.
Okay. Up next is...
That one is a little closer, but Draenus still dodges.
Juniper. You see 2 new targets.
Hurrah.
Help, please.
Do you do flanking?
Yes.
Cool. We gonna 5, 10, 15, 20, just enough. Around those stairs. And I got right in his back. Hopefully. Ooh. That's only 13.
That'll hit.
Oh, and a 1 on the damage die, so 6 damage. And I'm a bonus action offhand. That's the exact same roll. So 13 and
Damage is damage.
5 this time.
Okay.
Just 1. I just like, I don't like it.
Ida.
Yeah, the tune is as good as the first. Sacred Flame, baby! Make me a dex save. I'm gonna do the one that's in between Juniper and Drema.
It rolls a 5.
Yeah, I don't think so. Delete
Nope.
Reno. That's 7 damage. 7 radiant damage.
The same thing that happened before happens again.
Cool.
It's
It's
turn
very
to
effective.
It smells.
I shall fly like there-ish.
Okay.
Just to get the other one in view, just in case.
And Drenna.
I'm gonna hack the one that's left standing with my battle axe. So that's a 7, so I'm gonna miss.
That does miss, yes. It will attack, and it's going to move over to this position. Even though it's flanking, it's not very smart. It's going to attack.
It's going to stand on the corpse of where its friend that died was standing.
21 to hit Juniper.
I believe it may have
Oh,
disadvantage because of Sanctuary.
When you work
You must ward. It must make a Wisdom save to try and hit the creature that is sanctuaried. On a failed
17.
save, it must choose a new. Yeah, that makes a save. Ooh, I'm sorry, Juniper. I tried. I certainly did.
Sorry.
3 damage.
Ah!
As
Level
it
1.
slashes across your chest with its very sharp claws.
Ew.
But it's your
Yeah,
turn.
it touched me.
It touched me. I'm gonna touch it back.
Mom!
I'm gonna hit him back. I'm gonna hit him good. That's 14 plus 7.
That'll hit, yeah.
Max damage this time. 11.
Okay.
Delete.
If he's still up, I'm gonna offhand smack him again.
It is.
That's 18 plus 7.
Yep, that hits.
Man, having a plus 7 though as a level 1 character, this is nice. 3 more damage.
That's insane.
I rolled 3 6s for one of my stats, so it's my dex.
Nice. Yeah, of course.
Nice. Is it dead yet?
Nope. Yeah.
Kill it.
How
Get
is
it.
it? How is it still alive?
It's been struck twice by one person.
By little me.
But I keep deleting.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
missed.
Sacred Flame.
The cleric's version of Eldritch Blast.
Make me that deck save.
That's a 20.
Yeah, he saves.
Anything else?
Nope.
Drenna.
I'm gonna keep swinging with my battle axe. And that's a 15 to hit.
That'll hit.
Alright.
Kill it.
Sure. 4 damage. I rolled minimum.
4 damage.
Yes, 4.
Perfect. It's going to attack.
Did you roll with advantage because we're flanking it? Oh, you hit it. You hit it. It was the damage that was crappy. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's going to attack Juniper again.
Alright. It has to make a wisdom save.
You're touching me again.
13.
14.
Oh, that's a fail. My
Yeah.
the spell
No,
save.
unfortunately, it has to attack something else.
It has to hit
That's fine.
Drenna.
Okay, Drenna, you get
I have armor.
21 against you.
That will hit.
You take 7 slashing damage.
Oh, that
Ow.
would hurt me real good.
Juniper, you finish the job.
I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill it.
Get it, Juniper!
Oh, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Get it! Hit it!
Please kill it before
9.
you
Yeah.
9.
9.
Yep, you destroy it. It had one.
It just like turns its back on me, and I'm just like right in its neck. I'm like, ugh.
Yep, it
I'm like-
falls and turns. This one doesn't turn to ashes; it just falls.
That's 3.
Ow.
You
So,
do not
and-
hear any more movement.
That's at least
I think
3,
we found what
unless other
happened to the
people.
adults.
Yeah.
Ow.
Are you okay?
I'm not great.
I can this will be my last one for the day, but I can heal you. Come here.
I've been learning how to do healing stuff, and so far I'm not very good at it unless it's plants. But one of these days, I feel like I might level up and be able to do it, you know?
Yeah. Alright, Jenna, come here. I'll give you a little bit of healing. Whoo, whoo. And I'll cast
Gee.
a cure
Cooperates.
wounds.
That was half of my HP.
Yeah, that would have been all of my HP, basically.
Oh, hey.
I'm so glad I'm staying way at the back.
Mm,
You will heal for 8 hit points.
nice.
Cool. I am back up to full.
Nice.
I have some, but I'd rather save it for emergency.
Yeah. Like if I go down, because I'm very soft and squishy. Hoo-hoo.
Yeah, well, I've got 5 points of lay on hands. It's usually enough to bring someone back. So.
From brink of death. Yes.
Yep.
Alright. Up we go?
Continue up.
You check the other
Yes,
two rooms or
that's-
just go upstairs?
I mean, we should probably look, right? I don't hear anything else, but maybe just to be safe. Maybe there's clues.
We can always close the door and run.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
something
everything's pretty
nasty
broken
inside
around
of
here,
it.
but yeah.
Well, we could run and get to an advantageous place to
Yeah.
chop and stab.
Uh,
There can
go
be
up
only
and listen to doors.
Okay.
And then if I don't hear anything, I'm gonna like slowly like peek in one, and then go to the other and do the same.
Roll 2 perception checks.
Okay, first
one's from the
one.
left room.
Okay, that's only 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And you do not hear anything on the other side.
Okay, and then the other one is much worse, or not much worse than that. One worse than that. 5. No wonder.
You do not hear anything in that one either.
Okay, I'll just do the first one that I listened to first and like pull the door open.
Okay.
Okay.
As you open the door, you see that this is a bedroom. There is a disheveled bed that seems to be still used.
Like recently or currently?
Recently.
Okay.
And that's an important distinction
It
there.
really is.
It seems to be like it's recently been used. You can make an investigation check in this room if you would like.
Oh, you know I do. I'm good at that.
I'm
real good at
Do I want
that.
to stand where I can quickly
21.
slam the door, or do I want to stay at the top of the stairs to chop anything that tries to come after us?
With a 21, you find a journal under the mattress.
Ooh, I am so good at finding journals, guys. This is great. I'm start looking through that one just real
Certainly have a
quickly.
gift for it.
What?
You haven't looked at my journal, have you? Hoo-hoo.
No, of course not.
I would never.
I would never do such a thing. Unless you
Jade is
have
sitting
it.
behind you, nodding.
A burglar of journals, a gerbler.
Bless you.
Gerbler. Yeah. Hoo-hoo.
Alright, I just want to see kind of if I can get a gist of who the owner of this certain journal may be.
As you're reading it, sorry, I was getting a message from my kid who isn't listening. It says, or as you're reading it, hidden in the mattress, you find a beautiful notebook clad in black leather. In contrast to everything around you, this book is in good condition. As you open it, the first page shows an elegant handwriting stating, "This diary belongs to Orlin MacArthur. Contains only my personal thoughts. Please do not read." The book then goes on about the life of a young girl. For her 16th birthday, she received the book Magic for Everyone: How to Become a Wizard as a gift. Amazed by it, she traveled from her home to the author of the book, the wizard Teresa Arcoon. She tells about how Teresa accepted her as an apprentice, the friendship between her and the other 2 apprentices, Maya and Samara, evolving in her fascination with magic. Suddenly, the writing changes. The author didn't care about her handwriting anymore, and the pages have neither dates nor titles. Arulin describes how the tower is under attack from the legions of Valith. The wizard and her apprentices managed to keep them at bay for a while, but the battle pushed them to their limits. Then the attackers received support. One of the perishing appeared. The last words written in the handwriting are about Arulin's fears and that she doesn't believe any of them will survive the night. After that, there are a few blank pages, then someone else seems to have written in the journal. Looking at the scribbles of a child just learning how to write, the letters are so big that only a few words are written on each page. They say, Maya dead, Samara dead. Monster touched them. Happy they are free now, better than this. Mistress Teresa, have to care for her. Do not know if she suffers. I have become monster, writing hurts. Bad thoughts in my mind. Have to keep away from everyone, scare them off. Not know what I have become, afraid and alone. And these are the last words in the book.
No, they were just.
So some sort of evil came and attacked all these wizards.
And they need the person. Maybe the person trying to help is the one who's taken the people, trying to find some way to free her.
But is doing so by testing it on
Yeah.
other people.
Well, whatever has happened has twisted them. It says directly dark thoughts in their mind.
How long have they been here by basically themselves?
I mean, they said 10 years since the wizard really been around when we talked earlier, and
10
You
years
know.
or centuries.
was it centuries? I thought it said decades.
I thought it said decades as well.
Okay, decades.
I might be having a blonde moment.
It was the one that the statue was like way before the apocalypse, but then the current one had been like, decade. So I mean, sometime within that range, if they hadn't seen them in that long, I mean, that's enough. And how deteriorated this tower is, and all the growth that's taken over, I wonder why they're just now kidnapping folks, though.
Maybe
Does the name seem familiar to us at all?
No, not to any of you.
Okay.
Maybe that's when they gave in to the dark thoughts.
Maybe.
Or maybe that's when they came to themselves. Looks like they've finally been able to do some thinking for themselves and move beyond just a monster, but they're still twisted.
Well,
There may be a chance to set them at peace.
Oh, let me see if there's another journal in the next room that has our answers. I haven't even looked in there yet. I'm very good at finding them.
So you open the room on the northwest or northeast.
Yeah, same. Like just gonna peek.
I'm standing behind her ready to slam the door if we need to.
Oh, while you're reading their journal, do you have Arcana?
Just like my base +1, not any bonuses to it.
Ada, you can attempt to roll Arcana.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty good. 19 total.
Okay. With that, between the descriptions as they were read out loud, you would know that she is able to cast a couple of spells. Prestidigitation and Minor Illusion, but Sleep and Charm Person, Hold Person, and Dispel Magic were her spells of choice.
Ooh. And so who we're facing may have some goodies in store. Oh, or that's what they use to kidnap people. Hoo-hoo.
Because it's
Used to
odd that they
lure
took
them.
3 children and there wasn't a fight.
And the other people.
And the kid thought they were a ghost. They wouldn't have been very happy to come see him.
If they're able to charm, perhaps children are easier. Or maybe they made the children believe that they were there to help. Who knows what they were told?
Maybe they think children will be more pliable to the treatment.
I mean, it sounds like
Obviously, it's not working on the adults. I point to the corpse on the floor. We need to find them soon.
Yeah.
Let's continue up. Woo-hoo.
I'm gonna look in that room though.
Yeah. What's in
I
that?
have my hand on the door ready to just like slam it if we need to.
What's behind that door?
Door number 2.
Is it a monster door or is it a door that will be the bane of our existence?
Or maybe it's just a room full of golden healing potions.
Yeah.
That would be great, because
Mhm.
half my hit points in one hit.
Sorry.
No problem.
No worries. We're just kind of
We're jabbing.
adding
we're
color
vibing.
commentary.
Can we also look? I mean, these wizards seem to be pretty powerful and having their shit together for the most part. But can we talk about how odd it is that this is like a mostly wooden tower, like floor, and they put the forge on the second floor? You know, I feel like it should have been in a separate
Very strange
building
design.
or
Or
on
the
the basement or like the first floor with like stone.
Or
Or
outside.
maybe a separate building, not made of wood.
There's a whole cave. That would have been a great blacksmith shop, you know?
Okay.
Well,
Get smoke buildup.
Oh, true.
the entrance of the cave.
Mhm.
If they were clever about it.
Inside of the next room, the final room that you open, there is a pile of clothes and 2 broken beds.
Old looking clothes?
Yes.
This seemed maybe been the other wizards' rooms. Maybe
we
the other 2
investigate?
apprentices. Wait, so
There's a
the
room.
journal said something about like obviously the main mistress wizard, then 3 apprentices, and then it was as if a 4th person was writing as a child.
It's what it's.
I think it
seemed
might
like
have
an
been one of
additional-
them was
Yeah.
It seemed like what?
someone was writing in the journal in very big handwriting as if they couldn't write.
And
like
okay.
maybe one of them was turned into a monster but got enough
It looks
of
like a
themselves
child's
back.
handwriting, though.
Or possessed
because it
one
said
of the children.
because it mentioned the 2 that were dead, and then the mistress had to take care of them. So because it could have been the 3rd apprentice was the one that was turning.
My
Interesting.
assumption was that that from the journal description there were 2 apprentices already, and then she joined, making 3. Then the 2 of them went kablooey. The mistress, something happened to her, and then this last apprentice, the one who was like, "I want to learn to be a wizard," was
It's
the
like,
one who was
I'm a
then
monster.
taking care of the mistress because the mistress had something bad happen to her, and whatever happened
Yes.
to also the apprentice made regressed her so much that she now writes as if she were a child.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that right?
more or less how I read that.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't. I was confused on if there was another individual or if it was that same person. Well. All right, up we go.
I have a bone to pick with the wizard who caused all of this. The one
Yeah.
who invaded. But first things first, we need to find the children.
Yeah.
So-
Are we just abandoning all thoughts of stealth after we did just fight things?
Do we hear
Well, 4
things
adults went
upstairs?
missing, and we've killed
Yeah.
3 of them, so...
Gosh,
Let's
let's
see if
just
there's
go
anything-
for it, you know?
Yeah.
First,
First thing that happens, it flies away, and hopefully help gets here in time to revive us.
Yeah.
upstairs you find an empty room, and there are 3 doors again.
Take a Lisserino. What's a McHappenin?
Roll a perception check.
I'd like to give myself guidance.
Guidance is such a great spell.
Guidance is such a great cantrip. Okay, not the greatest in the world, but not the worst. 12.
You do not hear anything on this floor.
Does the stairs continue to go up?
They do.
How many floors does this tower have?
You don't know.
We couldn't tell from the outside.
It's hard to tell with the way it's built, and it's falling apart. So
Fair.
Shall we continue upwards? Hoo-hoo.
Yeah.
Take
Do
the
we
other
want to
doors.
just truck it up and then?
Work our way down afterwards.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean,
Sounds
I
good to
feel like
me.
we're just gonna keep finding more things to speculate. Maybe just get there.
Keep an eye for any signs that someone's been
Yeah.
through there recently, or if
And
there's.
keep listening.
All
Yeah, I
right.
think. Yeah, same. Just gonna kind of keep an ear out and look for any sort of is there dust disheveled as if something has been through recently?
as you get up here, you see that this room, there's an old fireplace, and that seems completely destroyed, and firewood near it. There's 3 doors. You don't see any. You see that there's some drag marks or some footprints, small footprints going towards the northeast room, but the rest of it is hard to make out.
Can I do another divine sense?
Sure.
Just like find the location of any undead within 60 feet, because I also feel like that might include like up and down 60 feet. It doesn't specify, it just says 60 feet.
Okay.
Just looking for any undead. Well, celestial fiend or undead, but I'm assuming undead's what I'm gonna get.
You don't sense anything.
Promising.
Do these not count as undead?
That's a great question.
I feel like they would. But they might also be like aberrations, and I don't know if that
They
counts.
might be
either.
aberrations.
Well, I
Yeah.
tried.
Perception check. Do we hear anything?
Roll a perception check.
Guidance.
I am also perceiving. Ooh, that's good.
I rolled a 1.
21.
4.
You two can't hear above your breathing. You're just like, there's so many stairs for Drenna. You're just like, why?
Mhm.
Why are there so many stairs? God damn it. Even though you're fit, stairs still stuck. No matter how fit
Stairs
you are.
up. Always.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Eda, you just or Ida, you just get distracted because you think
Yeah,
you saw.
I'm talking to Lizard.
Sure. But Juniper, you hear whispering voices childlike voices coming from the northwest or northeast, I mean.
I both love and hate that.
And you hear shifting coming from the south.
All right. Seems like we got some sort of movement in the room down south, and this one up here maybe has some children talking. Do we maybe want to split I don't know which one we want to take first, or
We should check
Perhaps the
on
one more likely to have scary monster in it, and then go get children.
okay, smart. So south.
Mhm.
All right.
Or more information.
Yeah, I want to position myself where I can like keep an eye out on the child door, but then whenever if anything happens out of the south door, I can still be attentive. What is my?
I'm gonna go up,
I have a longbow?
knock on the
Oh.
south door once everyone's in position, and then step back and kind of step away.
You just knock on the door.
Yeah, I mean, catch them off guard, get them to come out and see what's going on.
Mhm.
flutter on top of the piano and just wait.
Get your little feathery arms up.
Yeah, really
Take your
ruffling
time.
some feathers here.
Just are you puffed up?
Yeah.
As you can?
You see the door open, and you see someone peek outside, immediately in defensive mode,
Male or female?
It's hard to
In
tell,
appearance.
Alive or
but that's what she looks like.
Yeah.
Oh hi.
Oh, hi.
Acting
I'm
aggressive?
like, I'm not going to immediately attack, but I am also in a like ready to fight, but not about to chop her in half stance.
Yeah, I'm looking to see like, does this seem like a very kind of earlier stage of whatever this transformation is, since she's not immediately
Oh no, she is immediately she is defensive instantaneously, and she's just like, "Who are you? How did you get here? What are you doing?" But it's much more forced and difficult to speak.
We're looking for the missing children and people.
No,
We're here
you
to
can't.
find out what's going on and
You
how we
can't.
can
You
help.
can't take them. You can't take them. And she is going to try
Calm
to
down.
attack.
Wow. Whoa.
Easy, we just want to help. If you'll tell us what's going on, we can try and help.
Is that a whole new initiative-y thing, or keep her
It
old?
is, unfortunately, and she is not willing to talk.
I'm still gonna try, and since I am trying so hard, I got a 5.
Yeah, 19.
Well, actually,
Because I'm a paladin. I haven't chosen my order yet, but I'm a paladin. I
we're
gotta
gonna roll
try.
initiative, but she hasn't attacked yet. But she'll still talk. We'll see what happens.
We can talk in between blows.
I have axe like ready, but it's not like up. It's
Juniper, what you get?
19.
someone got a decent roll, yay.
Ida,
13.
Drena.
5.
To your response, actually, she'll say, "No, you can't take them. I finally have a family. I won't hurt anyone anymore."
Let's just calm down and talk, okay?
I am
Just
calm.
take it easy.
What you
What happened here?
yeah.
What's your name?
My name's Orlin. That's who I used to be.
Orla. I'm Jordana.
And so what you see, by the way, humanoid figure wrapped in rags, skin looks just like the melted wax as the other. Most of her silver hair has fallen out, and she has dangerous claws on her hands and feet. And she is like standing very defensively in front of the doorway, but also she's just like, she looks like she's just very ready to protect if needed.
Yeah.
Would you mind telling us what's happening here as far as those other adults that weren't looking so hot we encountered, and the general death in this area?
She seems to grasp her chest for a moment and get upset as you watch her protective face kind of turn to turn slightly to a scowl, and then she like shakes her head and it goes back to the mode that she was already in, and she's like, they were gonna be my family. They failed.
What
This
happened
is-
here?
Yeah.
The vile heart, it took over. It took everything.
Is
Is
that
this
an
a
item?
creature or
Yeah.
an item? Yes.
No, it's Trevisa Arcoon, my old teacher. They become the vile heart.
Could we see the vile heart?
No.
Have you tried to
No, because they're
divine?
not here, or because you don't want us to?
No, because I don't trust you.
Understandable. We're strangers.
I've protected her all this time. I will continue to protect her.
But why the children then?
The adults, they couldn't handle the transformation. I hope that children would be more able, more flexible, more willing to keep their innocence still. And it worked. The children are my family now.
You transform them into whatever caused what happened to you?
But better, they're not. They have thoughts still. They can hold conversations. It's been so long since I've talked to somebody.
Did they want that?
They
Did
drank
you-
the water when I asked them to.
Coercing somebody is not getting them to happily and willingly do something. You know they might have done it out of fear.
Her face changes to one of like sorrow, and she's just like, I'm so alone.
You're trapped in a terrible situation. I can't even imagine. What caused your master to change into what she is now?
There was the perishing. It appeared and it changed everybody who survived. The other two died. They were experimented on. I hid and I was changed by the poison that touches the ground. But I thought it was punishment and supposed to be here, meant to be here to save her, to protect her from everything. And it just got worse, and I was fine, and I stayed here and protected her for years after year after year after year.
So this is something that just showed up or was summoned by accident? This, per whatever you said.
Perishing.
Perishing.
It was... It was an experiment, I think. I don't really understand how they did it, but she just started to turn into what she is now, and the power that is her fed the land.
I have a quick question, a little off topic, if you don't mind. Why did the teacher recognize your voice?
Because I used to be from the city.
Was that your book that you tore up?
Yes.
So you're the master messed with something and it went wrong, and
It's not her fault.
I'm not saying it is. Mistakes happen.
Just a
How do-
byproduct of
It's
situation.
a terrible situation.
You don't have to be alone anymore. But the children can't stay.
What are the long-term effects of what you've done to them? Are they going to grow up? Are they going to live normal lives? Or are they...
I don't know. I've never... This is the first time I tried it and it succeeded. I was desperate. I just tried something, anything to get someone to talk to. wasn't thinking.
Can I talk to the children?
So you promise you won't take them?
Depending on how our conversations go.
She like begins to get defensive, but she'll
We don't want to hurt anyone.
nod and point towards the door to the northeast. Still defensive and still standing guard in front of the door.
Yeah.
Good.
She'll call out, children, it's okay. And you see Miko poke his head out first. Miko looks like that. He is the mathematician of the group. Or sorry, no, the fighter, the one who has the adventure, and he has a stick that he's prepared to fight.
Oh!
Slowly, the other two, Beldford, looks like that, and Arisian, who is holding her stuffed animal, who looks like that, walk out. All of them, as you see them, they have the white eyes, and their skin looks a little molten, but not nearly as much as the adults. The little girl clutches onto the stuffed doll. The one boy stands in front of her, still defensive, and holding up his stick, looking as if he's ready to attack if anybody tries, but when he looks at her...
I put my sword up, so it's like super non-scary.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've also taken a step back from Orlin so it doesn't look like I'm getting ready to turn half.
I'm still sitting on the piano, just no weapons out, just brackets in hand.
One of them was halfling, right? I think I'll just kind of like kneel down to him. Oh, go on.
I forget which one it was, though.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just kind of kneel down to the general group of the three. And just like in halfling. Hey, sweeties. I can see that you're in a really interesting predicament, and I would love to know very truthfully, since no one else can understand us right now. Do you feel safe or in danger here?
Beldor will respond. He's the one that's a halfling.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to go home. We came with her because she said that she was gonna hurt our teacher.
Your teacher's just fine. I can promise you that, okay? It seems like this woman's got a good heart, but it's a bad way to go about it.
She brought us here and made us drink gross water. And it was really, it hurt a lot. More than a tummy ache.
Is it feeling
Gross
better
water
now?
Looks like moonshine.
Yeah, what was it? Was it a weird green water?
It was from the pond.
Okay. But are you feeling better now? Do you no more tummy ache?
I don't have pain anymore, no.
Okay. Well, what do you say? Me and my friends here have been sitting here by your teacher to try and help take y'all home. Would you like us to help do that? It might get a little hairy, so we'll handle it. But I just want to make sure that y'all are okay currently.
Beldor will whisper to the other two, translating a little bit, and Arisia will nod her head, and Nico's like, I want to help. But Beldor just puts his hand up for a second and says, she's... I in Halfling, we know that she only did it because she wanted to be a family. She kept emphasizing that. She said, we're going to be a family, but... And that felt really nice, because you're going to be a family, but this isn't what we thought it would be like. But something to know, she's like several people. She changes, like we would say something and sometimes she'd get really, really angry, but then other times she's really nice.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite food?
Apple pie.
Apple pie. Can you three go back into your room? You hide. Tell your little buddy here he can protect y'all. That's his job. That's how he's going to help. And I don't want you to open this door at all until you hear me in Halfling or one of my buddies say apple pie.
Eldor nods and then translates for the others. And Micah gives like a salute.
All right.
This whole time, Drina's been watching Orlin to see how she reacts.
She looks very nervous, and she's still, she's like looking back and forth between Juniper and the children, wanting to like, she keeps looking like she wants to step forward to say something, to do something, to stop anything, but she stops herself because it doesn't look like things are escalating, and they don't look like they're being hurt.
Yeah, Drina will just occasionally calmly say, "Don't worry. The children are safe. You have no reason to fear us. Our goal is to make sure they're safe. We just are here to help."
Have you tried some divine intervention for this issue? Woot woot.
I don't have divine magic.
Well,
I can help you find people who do. Perhaps both you and your master can be restored to as you once were. There are many things that can be done with faith.
I don't know if that's what she wants. She might want to stay alive. I have to ask her.
it doesn't mean dying, but maybe a more divine touch might be able to shed some of the corruption.
You can go back to where you were and live out. Go back to the way you were before this curse or whatever happened. You can be among people again and live out the rest of your lives. Surrounded with people, with your minds entirely your own.
I'm too far gone for that. There is no saving me.
Is her attitude, demeanor changing with those words?
She's getting a little bit on edge, but she hasn't completely switched over.
I'm just
You could still find peace. Can't imagine how lonely this must have been.
You said you needed to ask her permission. Why don't we go have this conversation with her?
She will nod hesitantly, and she'll let you in the room, but she's like still in the defensive protector mode. Like she's going to, like, if you get too close. But I will give you an opportunity to attempt to talk to the vile heart. As you enter the room, in front of you, you see a dilapidated bedroom with a huge beating heart in front of the back wall. It's about the size of a human being, and vines growing out of the various openings. The tendrils have spread throughout the room, growing through the walls and out of the window. With each heartbeat, the tendrils also pulsate as if they were veins supplied by the heart.
Can't imagine being made to continue like this. What could have done this? I'm so sorry. Is there any way we can help?
1 second.
Drina's just like open, earnest. You can tell like this makes her so sad. She wants to help.
Yeah, I think Juniper's had a similar feeling, but is much more concerned about the children. So she's kind of like standing still in a way where she can like see that door and make sure like if shit goes down.
Hang on, we lost Craig.
There we go.
There we go.
No.
Hi, bot.
Hi.
Hi, Craig.
Yeah, Ida's just praying to her god. Any information that she knows about like this sort of thing, anything she might have read that might help in a cure or something.
Make a religion or history check.
Drina is
make a
also
history check.
praying. Drina is also praying, though I don't know how much. Her education would probably have been different, but maybe she might know somebody.
A little bit of guidance in my life. Please don't be too freaking stupid. That's not bad. The 22.
Nice.
So what were you specifically looking for?
Like any information that she might have, that Ida might have learned about in, becoming a cleric in her order, of like just this sort of magical corruption. If there's any cure or knowledge about this, because it seems like not the first time that something like this has happened. If someone has a name for it.
The cure is to get rid of the heart for the
And
land.
that would,
specifically.
but there's cure for the people that she knows of.
Lots of restoration.
Hold on 1 second.
We're so
It's
not level
Comical mental image of a bunch of clerics and paladins just like slapping on the restoration. Like over and over and over again. And someone's like, hey, I have a greater.
Yeah.
I want to save them all.
Okay. You don't know if there's a cure completely, but you know that clerical guidance could possibly help them in the long run over time.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it wouldn't
Promising.
be an instantaneous cure. It would be an overtime
But a
constant
treatment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, who? This isn't unprecedented. This case, with the guidance of clerics, it is possible to get treatment, and it wouldn't be an instantaneous cure. But it would be a long-term plan to help heal.
The other thing you'll get with that is that if this heart was caused by a human and there's anything left inside of it, you may be able to reach out. Names hold a lot of power.
Cool. Okay.
How do you see the wizard's name again?
Orlin, remind me of your master's
Chariza
name.
Acorn. Is it?
Chariza.
Acorn.
Can
Or
Ida
Arcoon.
just sort of pad
Arcoon.
Dresa Arcoon?
Mhm.
Can Ida pad as close as Orlin will let her go? And clutching her holy symbol, and just giving herself a little bit of guidance, call out to Dreza. What was his fucking last name again?
Arcoon.
Arcoon.
Dreza Arcoon, if you are still with us, please emerge. We can. the light of insert God here has not abandoned you, and we can find a way to heal you, and you can return to a normal life. You just need to reach out. Woo, woo.
Roll a persuasion check with your guidance.
Drina is behind her, also clutching a holy symbol and praying. And she's probably got like a nature god just praying to help restore things that were broken, if that is of any help. But that might just be flavor.
21.
Okay. As your words ring out, all of you hear telepathically a voice that is significantly older and very tired. I'm so tired. My student, I need it to end. I want it to end. Please. If you stop this heart from beating, the corruption will stop growing. You need to let them.
Just look
I'm
over
so
to
sorry.
Arlen.
So sorry.
She looks like she's about to cry, and she just like sits in the bed, which creaks underneath of her weight, and she just looks defeated almost. And she's like, if that's, why didn't you tell me? And she's just like, I tried, I was too weak.
If Orlin will allow it, Drina will go and put her hand on her shoulder, but if there's any sort of flinching away reaction, she won't do it.
She'll be fine. She like flinches instantaneously, but like, or reactively, but she'll ease slightly.
Yeah, it's just like a kind of gentle. If there was a way to save her, we would. But I think it's best to give her peace and let her to move on, knowing that there will be restoration here. We can help you. And we can help the little ones. And I'm so sorry you had to go through all of this alone. I'm so sorry.
Let me do it. And she pulls out, she just takes her claw as she walks over to it, and she like puts her hand on it gently for a moment, just saying, apologizing, before the claw digs into the heart and goes straight downwards. And the green goo that has been seen everywhere starts to drip onto the floor, but eventually the pulsating of the vines stops. And the heart stops beating. You are able...
Drina,
Sorry, go ahead.
as a Drina will, once when the heart stops, just kind of like go up and do the sort of gentle touch, trying to be supportive. Remind her she's not alone anymore.
I'm going to jump ahead a little bit,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
do the epilogue. You bring Orlin, who is hesitant at first to come, and the kids to town. The Elisa, the cleric or the priestess, immediately takes all four of them and promises, I will do everything in my power to help them. Whatever it takes. And she takes them to the church. As you explain what happened, the neighbors are horrified to learn what happened to their friends, to their neighbors, to their loved ones, but thankful for your help. do you make any commentary before you accept your pay? Pay.
That dude, the lumberjack guy, what is
You're
up
gonna-
with him?
Yeah. Part of me is worried about that. Real worried about that moonshine.
Yeah, we're definitely talking. Ida is absolutely talking about that dude. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
whatever
Guard, like,
corruption was happening out there, it definitely got to someone in town in a way that wasn't, like this. You should check in on him, like a wellness check, but like also confiscate his booze.
Perhaps he also needs to go to the temple.
Yes.
With time, the citizens will gather up Mako and stop his problems, which if you wouldn't have done, he would have actually continued with that and changed everybody in the city.
Into like everyone into like Orlin and then that lot or something.
I feel like it probably would have been a little something different, but inspired by how that corruption worked.
Inspired, but under his control.
Mm,
And you
Yeah.
will be given your rewards for your deeds of saving Vinesnake Hill. And that is-
Immediately take the money and order a bunch of apple pies to be sent to the hospital or the church.
Yes.
mhm.
Yes.
That is the end.
Hell
Just
yeah.
picture. I could just picture a couple days later. So, where are we going to go to now?
No, take it.
Like two people on your shoulders.
We just fade out to a half-orc walking with a halfling and on their shoulders off into the sunset.
Yep. But yeah, so this story is brought to you by Braith. Excuse me. This story is brought to you by Braith Shattered Realities. So please, God damn it.
You got this.
I had a peanut stuck.
Oh
This is brought to you. The Orphans of Vinesnake Hill is brought to you by Braith, the Shattered Realms. Or Shattered Realities, and you can find it in the link down below. It's for levels 1 through 4. So at any level you can do this, and you can increase it or decrease it however you please. But keep an eye out for this, and as well as a whole bunch of other adventure hooks that you can look at from Braith and see what else you can find. And this story could have gone 100 different ways, so feel free to play it, add more encounters, use it to level up. See what the Mako story can lead to. Like, there's a whole bunch of different options, and that fight could have led somewhere else. There was a bunch of stuff I skipped, so to fit it into 2 sessions. So this was actually meant for, like, I think it's like 4 2-hour sessions, give or take.
You were just leaving room for there to be surprises for all
Yeah.
the people who are going to go out and buy this game.
It's strategic.
really good.
Yeah.
And also, something that's fun is there's also additions of enemies and allies into this story. So if you want your players to have a reason to be here, that's a perfect way to do so. So definitely check it out. But before we go, this is going out in June, so we probably don't know what we're doing in that time. But check out. We'll say where we're all. You can find us, and you can check us all out there and see what we're up to. So let's start with. Stick with it, Taylor.
Awesome. Yep. At _potato_ everywhere. But you can catch me mostly on High Shelf Collective and Weave the Tale. We got some Shadowrun, got some D&D. I got some D&D in the other game. We got Cyberpunk on the other channel. Busy. Probably playing games with Nikki. Look, I'm everywhere. Can't get rid of me.
Probably. I
Check
will
it.
find myself on your channel if I have to. Up next we have Brianna.
I am Brianna Jane. You can find me DMing and producing Aboard the Opal Star, a 5e Esper Genesis actual play podcast, which is perfect if you're a big fan of sci-fi, space opera, and some really great character interactions. Tempest Multi is my Southern Gothic reality twisting monster of the week, although season 2 is going to be Urban Shadows, and we'll see what the other seasons are. And when this is coming out, you should be keeping an eye out for a Call of Cthulhu game that I'm doing with Styx Helix Productions. Should be starting hopefully around sometime soon, and that is Beyond the Crumbling Veil, Shattered Mirror, set in 1939 London.
Very cool. And finally, Darby.
Hello. My name is Darby. You can find me on the internet on Twitch and Twitter as Chaotic Darby. I am a TTRPG player, streamer, possum, all around menace on the internet. I finally remembered what my outro was. You can find me on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Tuesdays on my own channel, streaming crafty stuff, as well as some random assortments of video games. And when I'm not on my own channel, you can find me one on Through Hall of Flames. It's a D&D 5th edition podcast hosted by the lovely It's the Riddler, on anywhere you can listen to podcasts. It's every other Tuesday we upload. Additionally, you can also probably find me somewhere on Weave the Tale. Not sure yet. I mean, at this time I could probably say this will probably be announced by then. I'm the community manager for Weave the Tale, so you can find me sort of around on the Discord. Interact with me there. I'm around. And you can also find me Wednesdays on Girls Run These Worlds Twitch channel, in our game Roll for Luck, which is a D&D 5th edition game where I play Aisling, who definitely has her life together and doesn't talk to a sock puppet who she's pretending is a sock puppet, but it's really she's just trying to talk to the ghost in her lute that is haunted. She has all kinds of problems.
I love her already.
She can't remember anything of her past, and she doesn't know how old she is, and she doesn't know that changelings are fey. So she's having a grand old time.
Sounds like it.
Lastly, I am the technical admin for TTRPG, T spelled TEA, Twitch channel that's geared towards including marginalized communities into the space and giving them a place to play games. I am the co-host of the talk show that goes the fourth Sunday of the month, so you can catch me there with Halfling Nikki, hosting and talking to cool people and drinking some tea and looking fancy and stuff. So yeah, those are all the places you can find me that I didn't remember the first time. So
And I was on TTRPG in April.
yes, you were. You were actually the first person I co-hosted for.
We had to make sure we didn't talk about Shadowrun the entire time.
Yeah, it was like we can't talk about Shadowrun. We couldn't talk about being the community manager, like all this other stuff. We're just like.
Speaking of, I guess I can announce that too. I'm gonna be like the project manager or something of Weave the Tale. So there we go.
And I'm graphics.
If you're able to, if all else fails, you can just bleep it out and leave people wondering what is it.
I mean,
I'll forget.
they should know in like 3 days in our real time. So
Yeah,
True.
I'm the.
I don't know.
you get to know early. Look at you.
And for me, you can find me at Beholder2No1 on Twitter, and also wherever podcasts can be found. You can also find my Patreon. You should check that out. I forgot to plug that last time. But if you want some advertisements or whatever, you can go look that and get some stickers and get some early access stuff. And if we get enough people with a higher tier, maybe we can even do some Patreon exclusive content. We'll see though. But I don't know when this is airing yet, but it's either going to be the 16th or the 30th. So if it's either one of those, Shadowrun is still going on. So go check us, 3 of us out, Taylor, Darby, and I, Fridays at 2 p.m. on Shadowrun Through the Fireflies on Weave the Tale. On the weekends, Saturday at 6 p.m. you'll find me on playing Necrobiotic on Weave the Tale. I'll be DMing that game for 7 episodes. The 11th was skipped probably because I'm probably moving that weekend, so we'll see. We'll see how that works. And then the 10th was the last episode of Teens in Space on 9 p.m. on 2000 Tales YouTube channel. So we should be starting on the 17th. If this is coming out on the 16th, we will be starting up with season 3, if everything goes as planned, of Monster of the Week Weird Web, which evidently is going to be chaotic as hell, which is kind of impressive because the last 2 seasons have been extremely chaotic. So I'm not sure how they're going to top that, but You know.
They'll find a way.
And if this is the 16th or the 30th, you just missed me on the 15th playing High Shelf Collective.
Oh yeah.
Playing Thirsty Sword Lesbians. So yeah, go see how much fun we had. Hopefully we had a lot. I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun.
I'm sure we had a blast.
But we don't know
I've been
yet.
wanting to play Thirsty Sword Lesbians for like since it came out, so this
It's
will be the
so
first
good.
time I finally get to. So
Yeah.
I'm sure Taylor, at the time you're hearing this, is like just in a coma from excitement. You know.
Just all the excitement.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, if you want to hire me to be a professional DM for you, I'm probably looking for work for that. I don't really want to edit, so don't send me editing work. But if you desperately need an editor and you pay well enough, then maybe I'll edit for you. We'll see. But keep being awesome. We'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye.